Here we are down in the orchard. We are still making progress here. What I wanted to do is just show how this is laid out here, and I've pretty much thinned down the diseased and the dead, and I have replanted any of the trees that I have removed with some Honeycrisp apples. We have some pear down here, as well as some yellow delicious. I also have my regulation size horseshoe pit down here, as you can see. And I've also planted another variation of the fruit trees. Let's see which one this is. That's a Honeycrisp apple dwarf right there. And he seems to have taken real good. We put him in a circle, we'll fertilize him. This one happens to be a pear tree right here. I don't know whether you can see that clearly. I hope that you can. And we've thinned down all the maples that grew along on this side of the fence. Took them all down. There were a few of them and got some stumps left. But I wanted to draw your attention to over here. I have this laid out in like 10 foot by 10 foot squares, growing quadrants. And I did the same thing with my thornless blackberries right there. But on this one right here, what I decided to do was to actually put a little box in here to facilitate the transplanting of one of the Honeycrisps that I have. And again, we'll check that. You can see that, a Honeycrisp apple dwarf. And you can note the area right there. I'll have to clip these guys off here, the little suckers. But there is the graft right there. It's a nice strong graft. But what I've done is I have planted innumerable strawberries from my extras, and I have laid down some landscape fabric all along the edge here. Like I said, this is a 10 foot by 10 foot. And what I hope will happen, and it should happen because it's done it everywhere else that I've applied this, is that the strawberries will grow right out of the box, and they'll populate this area outside the box, since it'll be in the mulch. They take root really nicely in the mulch after they send their runners out. And I'll come down here in the springtime, and before we start to get our rain, and I'll throw some slow dissolving organic fertilizer in here. This one's pretty good. He's probably sticking up out of the ground about 7 foot or so. I may clip him to promote some ancillary scaffolding branches right off here. You can see the buds that are the branches that are going to come off of this come springtime. And he's a little bit taller than I want. I want to keep these guys low so I don't have to spend quite as much time pruning, because you do have to prune the fruit trees, and you do have to spray them. I'm wondering whether or not I'm even going to spray a dormant spray. It's like an oil-based spray. It keeps the bugs off of them. But I haven't had a ton of problems with the borers and some of the other bugs that are there. Although with the fruit trees, you really do need to spray. I'm reluctant to spray. I like to have nature take care of itself. What I have here that we're looking at is this is one of my real great producers. You can see that I pruned him last year. I took a lot of scions off of him. He's crowned. I had him crowned at the top, and he's put off a lot of shoots here. And if I wanted to come down and thin him down and get some scions off of him, I very well may do that. I was kind of hoping that the leaves would be off, and we've had several frosts already. In fact, we went down into the 20s here. Everything was frozen, and I was hoping that they'd lose all the leaves for that. I may come down here within the next week or so and try to thin him down. I want to improve the scaffolding which is that's the main branches, and then you have your runners that come off of those. That'll be the fruit bearing, which will also give me the scions. These, when you trim them, you can get some nice, straight scions off of these that have, multiple buds on them. You usually want to do just the current year's growth. You don't want woody scions. And for those that are unaware of how to, tell, which is an apple and which is a pear, this is an apple tree right here, although he's got some brown on him. I don't know if you can see that as well as I would like. So this is an apple tree. This also is a dwarf tree. I'm trying to get him in the picture there. There we go. There he is. I don't know whether that's focused or not. I'll leave him there for a second. As opposed to a pear tree, which looks similar. Let's see if we can find one down here that still has a leaf on them. A little smoother. Yeah, this is a pear right here. And you can see that he has a little more smoothness around the edge of the leaf. And I have another pear over here, which is super productive. I'm going to walk over to him. And I had to clip him off too, because he had so many pears on him that the branches were breaking. Okay, so here we go. This is another pear leaf. See how they're a little more smooth around the exterior of the edges. You can see the veins very clearly in the leaf. And if I wanted to take some scions off of him, I could, but they're really not thick enough. What I may do is just come down here and use my hedge clippers and just shape them a little bit. I have another very mature yellow delicious, and he's very productive also. And again, you can see the leaves here on him, the difference between the leaves. There's a great app that you can use for Android, and it's called Plant Snap. And what you can do is you can take a photograph. It'll search its database, give you the origins of the plant, and you can put that in your file and draw from your file from the app. Now this is the leaf of the thornless blackberry. You can see him quite distinct on the veins. You can see that real nice here, and he's done real well. And I've also come down here and threw some strawberries on him as well. And there's quite a few new growth down here. I'm going to let them go. I'm not even going to prune them off. And as I walk up here, we'll give you the final look here of the tree refuge, which I have set up down here. I try to dig things up as the critters plant them, and they're all doing real well here. They've mostly lost their leaves. It's a little bit on the chilly side, and you can tell by some of the leaves what they are. Those last thornless blackberries that I dug up, there they are. They're still looking real good. They're in there. Those will be extras there. They put off nice big berries too, by the way. And we still have our little bonsai grapevines. There's 2 of them down here. And we also have some bonsai apple trees. I try to bonsai these fruit trees. But we've made a lot of progress here. I've got a nice melon patch now set up. I have extra grow boxes set up. I've thinned down the waterfall right here of the strawberries and planted them other places. And there's still a lot of weeding and pulling out and thinning down I have to do here in the circle with my bird hotel way at the top there, which I always try to make sure I leave something out for the birds. Got to feed them. And we still have our other fruit trees that are in the buckets. And that's a Honeycrisp right there. It's upside down. There you go. A Honeycrisp. That's from Stark. But I've ordered some different ones here. Let me see what this yellow tag is down here. I'm looking for the tree that's not a Honeycrisp. That's a Honeycrisp too. Let me go over here to the green tag. Use my walkway. That allows me to go in between the boxes. See if he's a Honeycrisp also. Yep, he's a Honeycrisp too. I must have planted that other one down at the bottom. Let me check a tag. Here we go. This is called a Snow Sweet apple dwarf. Actually, he's a semi-dwarf. I didn't realize that. Sent me a semi-dwarf. Well, he'll get tall. I'll have to keep him pruned. And then, of course, we have our little baby plum tree right here. I keep him babied by planting the pot in the ground. He's pretty prolific too. Puts a lot of little plums out. Critters get into them. And if I go up here, this is a, I believe this is a, let's see, a tag came off of him. I think this might be a pear right here. I have a cherry in here too. And this one right here is a peach. I believe that's a peach. Let me look at the tag. Try to keep the tags on them. Of course, you can't read that one. So there's the quick tour. You can see I have a lot of leaves from the maples, but they're really thinning down. And we'll use them as compost all around the garden. Many boxes to fill, plus the greenhouse. And what I really need to do is build myself, and I may take it on next spring, a place to pile up the leaves and really make my own soil rather than just adding it as an accoutrement to the current soils. Let things decay out, you know, let them get real organic and then just add them. So it's a brisk, chilly day here. The football game is on, but I wanted to come down here and make a video to put out there regarding how things are. This is a Granny Smith apple tree which has not produced once for me. And I have another one over here, and I haven't fertilized them. I think I'm going to make sure that I fertilize them this year. Actually, I'm going to fertilize them a couple times. Now, these were originally not full-size fruit trees. These were fruit towers. And I made sure that they were healthy, and they've grown, and I've pruned them several times, but they have not produced fruit. So we'll see what happens. I have a couple experiments going on right now. So anyway, this is Gardening with Vincenzo. Did a fast video here showing you what's going on. Moving forward, always moving forward. Just do a piece at a time. That's the only way to get it done. And remember, we can save this planet 1 yard at a time, beginning with your own. You are what you eat, and fresh is always best. And it doesn't get any fresher than fresh picked. Grow as a person, plant a garden. All right, I'm signing off here. Hope you enjoyed the little tour. Be safe out there, America. Be safe out there, world.